Hey everybody, just wanted to do a video on how I solve the heat issue on my 2020 KRX. I started noticing not long after I got it. I could go for like a 10-minute ride, and like I've said in my other videos, we're pretty wide open. We don't just kind of cruise around. We hammer down and do pretty ridiculous stuff all the time. So mine got really hot really fast, and what I was noticing was the entire front part of the muffler where the header comes into it, or header pipe comes into it, was cherry red. I mean, just glowing. So the three things we did to fix this, and it has fixed it so far, was change the spark plugs that came in it from the dealer, remove the catalytic converter from inside of the muffler, and remove the spark arrestor insert. Of course, when we go riding in a national forest or anywhere where it's required, we can pop it back in there. But for the private land riding we do, it's out of there. I keep it in my glove box. It's only one little bolt. It'll be easy to put back in. But as far as changing the spark plugs, it's not hard. I'm not going to do it because I honestly just don't feel like it. But you pull the bed. It's a bunch of push pins, those aggravating push pins that Kawasaki decided to put on here, and a couple bolts. Pull the bed up, fold it to the passenger side out of the way, and you'll come in from the top actually, and you can kind of see the spark plug wires there. Just pull the caps, get down in there with your socket and your extension, pull the spark plugs, and mine were disgusting. Put new ones in there. That solved a lot of the heat problems, and it did run a little bit better after I changed them. So then moving on to the muffler, you've got to remove the muffler to get to the cat. So the first thing I did, and it's not fun, it's the worst part of the whole procedure, is loosen these four nuts that are on the studs that are attached to the muffler. You're just going to need a good old-fashioned wrench to get to these. You can't get a socket in there. You can't get a ratchet wrench in there because it's too fat on the top side. So loosen all these. And like I said, just loosen them. Don't remove them. Once you get those loosened, come back here and remove those top two bolts and these bottom two bolts. Once you get the last bolt out, kind of support it with this hand so it doesn't damage the studs on the muffler or the flange for the header pipe. And then just spin these off, these four. There's two on the back side, two on the front side, with your right hand. Once you get them off, this muffler is stout. It is not light, guys. Once you get it off, pull it out, and then we'll go to how to get the cat out of there. Okay, so we got this extremely heavy muffler off. Like I said, guys, I am not joking. When you get this thing off, you will feel how heavy it is. It will never rot. There's no packing inside of it to go bad, so I actually kind of prefer the stock muffler. Plus, I like being quiet, just in case you're riding somewhere you're not supposed to be. Not like we'd ever do that, but in case you are, you don't have some ridiculously loud Yibo pipe on it, because those are just annoying. But, so if you look down in there, like I said, mine's already out. I did it previously. You can see the remnants of the catalytic converter in there. It pretty much starts right past that little lip right there I'm trying to touch with the light, and goes all the way back to where what's left of it's on there. The only way to really get it out is to take a long 1/2-inch drill bit, drill every hole you can find until there's nothing left to drill. And then we actually took a pry bar that had a sharp edge on it and beat it with a hammer. You don't have to worry about going too far, because that plug or baffle, whatever it is, and the exhaust right there will stop you. And you're just, it'll take 20-30 minutes to beat all this stuff out. But you'll finally get it out. Once you get it out, it's actually going to look, let me get my light out of here. It's going to look like that. I mean, it looks like a catalytic converter. If you guys have never done one, I don't know where you grew up, because we gutted cats our entire lives when we were like 15 and 16. But you'll see what it looks like. It's about 3.5, 4 inches long. It's very thick, so like I said, you're going to have to beat on it for a little while and get it out. LOL. But that's it, guys. All you do is you knock it out, shake the muffler 5 or 6 good times to get all that crap out of there. And one more thing going back real quick. I hate to go back in a video and not do it in order, but these 4 studs that are a pain in the butt to get off, they're 12 millimeters. You're going to need a 12 millimeter wrench for each one of these. You can't get a socket in there. If you can, congratulations. We couldn't. Those are 12 millimeter, and then the 4 brackets on the back I was telling you guys about, where it's 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, are also 12 millimeter. The other word of advice I'll give is, unlike COVID-19, inhaling catalytic converter dust is actually really bad for you. So when you do this, when you start busting this cat out, please do it in a ventilated area. This stuff is horrible for you. There are chemicals and stuff in there I can't even pronounce because I'm just the dumb redneck. But please, do it in a ventilated area. Don't dump the stuff in your trash can and then huff the dust for 3 or 4 days. It's actually really bad for you. So after that, we'll be good to go to put it back on there. Alright, so we got the muffler mounted back on. Pretty much the reverse of how you took it off. Slide the muffler on, thread those 4 nuts on just a hair, and then put your mounts on the back. The way I like to do it, because those mounts have sliding rubber grommets in there. Slide it on, you can go ahead and tighten these down. And then when you snug these 4 up here, and again, try to do that in a crisscross pattern like you would lug nuts. It'll pull it back and you'll be good to go. So now to cover a few other things. So the spark plugs, I know everybody was like, well, why do you change the spark plugs? So we've got a great dealer, Triangle Cycles in Danville, Virginia. They take good care of us. They've helped me out through the years racing hare scrambles and motocross. But I mean, a dealer's a dealer. They've got to pull machines to the front. They've got to pull machines to the back. They can't help that they foul the plugs. But to give you an idea, so the 2 plugs on the left, let me get them up a little bit closer for you guys. The 2 plugs on the left were 150 miles. Clearly, I mean, nobody wants a plug like that in their machine. This is a brand new one, just to show you what a new one looks like. And this is the ones that came out of it. I mean, they're gross, guys. I mean, dealers pull them up, pull them back. Never gets up to operating temperature. You kind of foul the plugs out, and then you get the heat issue like we had. But like I said, pop some new plugs in there. They're like 40 bucks. They're kind of expensive. They're specific to the KRX. Brute Performance sells them. Best price I could find, and plus he's a good dude. He's been good to us. He doesn't know us from Adam, and he's helped us out a lot. This is the part number. It's definitely NGK. Only use the stock plug. Don't go to your redneck part house and get a regular spark plug like a Champion or something put in there. Use an NGK, but it's SILMAR 9F9. It's specific to the KRX. It's gonna be hard to find otherwise. And like I said, we recommend getting them from Brute Performance. But now going to the spark arrestor that we run when we're in national forests and take out otherwise. It's right here. It's literally just like a big mesh sock that slides up in there, and I'll drop the bolt. But there is a 10 millimeter bolt, 1 bolt. That's all it takes to pull it out. It slides in like that. There's a 10 millimeter bolt that goes there. Pop it out. Bam. No spark arrestor. And the reason we take it out is we're not big mudder guys at all. Like, we avoid it. We'll climb trees to avoid mud. But nonetheless, we're on the East Coast. When you hit these mud holes and stuff, it splashes back up the muffler and then gets on this screen on the inside there. Let me let it focus. And blocks it off. And eventually it builds up to the point where you have almost no exhaust leaving your muffler. So just keep an eye on that, guys. If you ride somewhere where it's required, do the right thing, use it. But don't let this ruin your engine's performance. Take it out. If you must run it, take it out and clean it out occasionally with some brake parts cleaner and a wire brush. Just brush it off real good, maybe hit it with a pressure washer, whatever. But like I said, what we do when we're on private land where it's not required, we run without it. We go to national parks and places that it's required, we run it. So, all right, we'll get to the sound test. All right, so everything's back on. Let's get to go. We don't really think it's any louder. If it is, it's not discernible by the human ear, in our opinion. So I'm going to do a cold start. I hate doing exhaust videos on YouTube or anywhere other than in person, because I don't feel like you can really tell the difference on YouTube. But just for the guys that would say, oh, it makes it louder, or it's whatever, it makes it sound like crap, I wanted everybody to hear it. So you can see temperature 69 degrees. God bless the sultry south. And there you go. It's pretty much the exact same as it is factory. I'm not going to rev it when it's cold, because that's really stupid, but I hope everybody watching this knows that. Please don't rev your engine when it's cold. We're going to let it warm up really good, get it up to about 150, 160 degrees, and then we'll rev it up in neutral and let you guys hear what it sounds like without the cat and the spark arrestor. Alright guys, it's warmed up. We're at 177 degrees, so I'll rev it up a couple times for you and let you hear that it's really not any louder than the stock exhaust. Alright, so you can hear it's really not any louder. There's a couple guys that said if you put the single exit aftermarket exhaust on there, which makes it really loud, also kills the power. I haven't noticed any power loss. I haven't noticed anything. But full disclosure, the one thing you will notice, which has only happened like 1 or 2 times in probably 20 hours of riding, is if you're in a super tight section and you're 100% throttle, 0% throttle, 100% throttle, you'll hear a slight decel pop. I don't think it's anything that's going to last, because honestly the last time we went riding I didn't hear it, but I did the first couple times. But just something to keep in mind. You know, I don't want anybody to do anything they don't want to, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's much cooler. The shock stays a lot cooler. And the other thing is, we're actually we have the Alba tuning, or I'm sorry, the Alba racing tune on the way here. He actually gave us the tune for the slip-on muffler. He has 3 tunes. He has stock, slip-on, and full exhaust, and he actually recommended the slip-on tune for ours since we don't have the spark arrestor or the cat in there. But again, it solved our heat problem completely. The shock reservoir doesn't get hot anymore, which everybody knows that can kind of ruin the shock performance if the reservoir over there gets super hot. But you can see no red exhaust like we had before. And there's our sticker. And there's our sticker off the rig. If you guys want to help us out a little bit, if you like the videos we're making, we'll put our email in the description. Shoot us an email, we'll get you a sticker for a couple bucks. It'll help us buy some better video equipment.